Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rock and Review is thrilled to have on platinum selling singer, songwriter, guitarist, harmonica player, Heidi Newfield. Thanks for coming on the show, Heidi.
Thanks for having me, Eric. It's always good to see you. Always good to see you, even if it's through a camera.
Well, I much prefer seeing you in person, particularly when you're on stage performing, like the last time we were hanging out.
Yes.
And it's amazing to me, and I love your voice, and I always have. But it's like, but also you wail on a harmonica.
Well, thank you. That just happened organically, as all good things do. I just was a little girl. I heard my grandpa play the harp when I was just about 5, 6 years old, and he played after every one of our family dinners. He'd push back his chair and play some of those great old campfire songs and cowboy songs. And I just remember hearing that sound, that tone, and being so drawn to it. I thought it was the most lonesome sound in the whole world. And I just, asked my mom, can I get a couple of harps? My grandpa gave me one of his. And then, of course, now I have all of his old Marine bands. But yeah, I picked it up and I started messing with it. And then I really got serious in my teens and started buying a lot, my country background in harmonica, Charlie McCoy, and all those great records that he and Jelly Roll Johnson and all these different harmonica players in country played on. I started expanding and listening to a lot of blues, and then it was a lot of rock records, and it really grew from there. And I didn't see a lot of women playing harmonica, and I thought that was really strange. So I just got after it and kept teaching myself. I'm still teaching myself as we go.
I think that's what's incredible about the best things in life. But speaking of one of the best things in life, you have a brand new album out, the Barfly Sessions Volume 1. And I really like how you and your producer, Jim Moose Brown, have kind of weaved in, swing, harmonica, blues, country, with a very nice touch of Hammond B3 organ in there.
Well, thank you for that. It's a great way to put it. It's kind of an amalgamation of all of my influences musically, or a lot of them anyways. And it's the first time I got to co-produce a record. I kind of came up with this idea of the type of record I wanted to make, and I had been writing with Jim Moose Brown. I've been friends with him for years. We've worked together in the studio on many, many records and many, many demos. And he's kind of like-minded. He really respects country music. He respects the instrumentation. He respects the platform. He's almost, I would say, like me, like he's kind of a purist. He really likes the good stuff. But he also is very steeped in soul and R&B and Muscle Shoals, and he was born in Detroit, so he's got that rock and roll kind of funkability about him as well. And so I knew that we would make a great team, and it was a really just a huge labor of love making this record. You never know when you put this thing on. You never know what's coming next. It's kind of exciting to listen to.
I think it really is. It's so interesting, Heidi, too, because I was listening to your album again today, and there are so many songs that I enjoy through it. But it's really a feast for the ears because, but whatever your favorite style of music is, of course, mine is the blues, and I think you really shine in the blues. But to me, even compared, back to your Trick Pony days where, obviously you guys had some big hits with that. But this album, what really feels different to me is that it does a better job of highlighting your vocals, and it feels like a live show. It feels like when I've seen you live here in Nashville, I think you guys have captured that in the album.
Well, thank you for the compliment. When Moose and I sat down and talked about, we wanted to fill the room with musicians that were just like what I mentioned before. They are not just one-trick ponies, so to speak. They are guys that, because some guys are just really, their specialty is twang, or their specialty is blues, or their specialty is this or that. We filled the room with guys that had a really big bag of tricks and could sit down and really dig into a traditional country song, or a honky-tonk song, or a Bakersfield twang, and then turn right around and go to Texas and put us in an old Texas Roadhouse blues feel. And then turn right around and kind of touch on some sort of Etta James kind of feels. So the band and I, and that of course including Moose, we really just sort of became one and created a record that we did not want to make it too polished. We didn't want to tune, everything. There's a lot of records anymore that sound what I would call maybe canned. They're perfect. They're so synced up. And this record is real. It's very much, when you listen to this record, it sounds like you're listening on the cutting room floor. It's right. And we wanted to kind of capture the energy that one does feel when you do go to a live show. And I think overall we succeeded in that. I actually never listened to my own records. I don't know what it is, but this is a record I actually enjoy listening to, and I love the diversity. I love that I got to really spread my wings and enjoy playing with my voice and different sort of feels and sounds. And I got to belt it out. I got to whisper. I got to get up in my falsetto, and I got to. It's just the whole thing. It's all there. It's all the feels.
Well, and I'm so like you. It's like I much prefer a live album, just like you were referencing a lot of your blues, influences. If you listen to a lot of those old albums, you can hear mishit notes on guitar and different things like that. And to me, I don't mind that, because when you're in a live venue, it's never that way. It's always more, you want it to have that live feel. But, you've always been known as a live performer on how much energy you bring to the stage. And I think somehow in the Barfly Sessions Volume 1, you've been able to infuse that into the songs and the album more than anything else you've done before.
Thank you. Then you know what? Then we did our jobs, I guess. As all I can say to that. It was. I had a hold of a few songs from earlier on. I had a hold of a few songs that I had written back when I was first starting out on my own solo stuff. So, when Johnny and June was coming out in 2008 and 9, and that record with Tony Brown, and those were exciting times, and I was writing like crazy for that project. But of course, as writers do, you're going to write some things that maybe, belong to somebody else. They maybe should be sung by somebody else, or they'll find their home elsewhere. But then once in a while, you'll write something that's sort of this little gem that is really, you kind of put it back over here, keep it in the catalog, don't pitch it. And I had some things that were like really stone country, a couple things that were quite different, frankly. I had no idea where they would land, but I knew that eventually I might record a project that they would fit. And sure enough, when I started to kind of think, gosh, we've really blurred the lines in all of our genres anymore. I've always been a country singer, and I'm proud to be a country singer. I love bluegrass, I love gospel, I love country music with all of my heart, and that's what I grew up singing. But I've also always been a blues singer, and I've also loved soul and good rock and roll, and was steeped in that stuff growing up as well. And so I think this record is the perfect example, or exemplifies, hopefully when people listen to it, they kind of feel like, hey, good music is good music. And I think authenticity has an audience, and this record is extremely authentic. It's not trying to be this or that. It's unapologetically what it is.
I know a lot of your fans are going to be looking for something else out of this, and we got to know, Heidi, will it be in vinyl?
So yes, we are printing a big double vinyl record. We are doing it at the top of 2021. And the reason I've waited is because it hasn't been, I haven't been touring, and I wanted to have something special to come out with for my fans, and to be able to put on my website, which is HeidiNewfield.com, along with the rest of my merchandise. So as of right now, people can get a CD, and it's a really cool package, and all the information, all the credits. I like you. I like to be able to put something in my hands and read it. I want to see the pictures, who wrote it, song lyrics, all of that stuff. That stuff saved me growing up because I would pick my favorite songs. I would buy those records, and then I would, I would learn those lyrics. And so I love that. And so we'll be pressing vinyl in January, and we will be putting it on the website. And then, of course, good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise, we'll be out touring and bringing that vinyl and those CDs and all that merchandise that's on my website. We'll be bringing that on the road with us.
Well, I think it's just incredible. And I want to make sure that our viewers, even now, that you can go out and buy the CD or download the singles digitally if you like to listen that way. The Barfly Sessions Volume 1, just an amazing album. Be sure and follow Heidi, for the virtual shows each week, and then also for the vinyl coming out after the first of the year, and hopefully touring in 2021, right?
So, yeah, for sure. And very excited to be able to tour off of this record for sure.
Well, and also, that's what's so great about during these hard times too, Heidi, that you're doing the virtual shows. So at least people can get a taste and, with the fun stuff with that. But, what a great album. Can't wait to see you live. Can't wait to buy my own copy of the vinyl when that comes out. Heidi Newfield, thank you so much for coming on the Rock Interview and talking about all the amazing things you have going.
Eric, it's always a pleasure. You're the best. Thanks for having me. And you're not going to buy any vinyl because I'm going to send it to you. I appreciate it.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.